Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to present the Marketing Excellence in a Socially Distanced World session. This has been presented on behalf of the Microsoft AGM event for year 21. We would like to thank everyone for joining today, and we will start the session with introductions. It's a pleasure to introduce Chad Nelson, our Senior Solution Architect for the D365 Empower platform, myself, Carrie Saunders, the Practice Manager for Dynamics 365 Empower platform, and John Haifa, who is our Practice Manager for Cybersecurity and Compliance. K-Micro is a global cloud Microsoft partner, which has 8 global locations, has over 500 resources, is one of the first Microsoft full cloud and cybersecurity partners. We serve over 10 industries and have in combination over 100 years plus experience implementing projects and supporting our customers. We support and implement the Microsoft full cloud, which includes all of the Microsoft software, including collaboration applications, the Power Platform, Microsoft Dynamics, M365, all the industry solution and horizontal applications that integrate to the Microsoft software applications. We can host any other databases on Azure. We can also use our cybersecurity team to manage the applications from a cybersecurity risk and also down to the asset level. We manage all of our projects on Azure DevOps and support all of the solutions with our team internally. The Microsoft Business applications include Business Central, Finance and Supply Chain, Commerce, Human Resources and Self-Service Portals, Sales, Marketing, Customer Relationship, which includes a combination of sales and marketing modules, the Customer Service Help Desk, Field Service and Connected Field Service using the IoT, Project Operations, Fraud Protection modules that sit on top of business applications, such as AR and AP, Power Platform including Power BI, Power Automate, Power Apps, and Power Virtual Agents. We are a multi-gold competency partner with Microsoft, and we support, implement all different company sizes, including startups, small, medium, large, and enterprise level companies. Some of our industries served include construction, distribution, real estate, manufacturing, discrete and process manufacturing, retail, hospitality, field services, and transportation verticals. We also integrate the collaboration applications from Microsoft that include OneDrive, Office 365, Microsoft Intune, SharePoint Online, Microsoft Stream, and Microsoft Teams, with true integration to all the Dynamics 365 business applications. Such an example of collaboration applications is the integration with Microsoft Teams, which we communicate, we can share files, we can extend Teams to see other applications within Microsoft Teams. We can do automated workflows between all the applications through Teams. We manage security, update posts, and share videos for true productivity and efficiencies for all types of companies today. Some of our first-party apps from Microsoft Teams include the list up on the screen, but I'd like to highlight that the Dynamics 365, Azure DevOps, Power Apps are all included in these first-party apps that K-Micro supports today. The Power Platform is a platform that connects all of the data, be it electronic data, business applications, collaboration applications, other databases, web data, any data driven from IoT or SCADA, and puts in connectors and connected gateways to all of this data into the Azure Data Lake. We then segment out the data using Databricks and then provide presentation layers of the data with dashboards and reports using Power BI. We can build or train customers to build Canvas and model-driven apps through Power Apps. We can create workflows and true automation through Power Automate, and also use artificial intelligence and bot technology using the AI builder within the Power Platform. An example of Power BI dashboards with a partner that we have an exclusive partnership with called Solver lets us leverage over 300 dashboards and reports in our library by industry and also across all of the different Dynamics business applications. Up on the screen, you can see CRM or customer engagement data and marketing data for campaigns through pre-built libraries of dashboards and reports. And with this, we'd like to take the pleasure to introduce Chad Nelson, our Senior Solution Architect, that will review how we can do remote marketing for true excellence in customer experience. Thank you, Chad, for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. So today, some of the things I want to cover is the marketing, some Teams integration, some exporting to an Azure Data Lake, and then some of the components that are going to be released in the 2020 Wave 2, which should be an October release. So the first thing I want to cover is segments. So within D365 marketing, the real driver of the application is going to be the segments, and segments are defined as the targets for the marketing campaign. So by segmenting the data, we're able to create these personalized experience to ensure that we are really driving the correct message to the correct contacts. And the goal in that is to obviously drive a greater campaign response and conversion rates. So this is obviously going to be the strongest component to the customer journey. Now, there are two different types of segments. We have dynamic segments, and these are set up by using a logical expression such as, all contacts from New York or all contacts who like the Mets, those types of things. And memberships in a dynamic segment change constantly to reflect the new or removed contacts and update contact information. Both demographic and firmographic segments are examples of a dynamic segment. The other type is a static segment. So static segments establish a static list of contacts who are selected on a per contact basis rather than created logically based on field values. Marketers or salespeople might create and populate a static list based on private knowledge or offline interactions. Segments can have both blocks of queries based on profiles, interactions, or other segments. So once we get the either dynamic or static segment established, that is when we would then begin to then create the customer journey. And so the customer journey really defines to decide who will get the marketing message when and in what format. So, you can have a very simple, short-running customer journey that can be used to simply send an email to a particular segment of your contacts, but they could also be very complex and send many messages based on multiple triggers over a long period of time. So you can see in the image here, what we're reflecting is a pretty basic, straightforward customer journey, but similar to a business process flow that I'm sure you guys have had interacted with in the past, it's within that same type of text edit of the journey. The next thing that I want to touch on is the Teams integration and how the enhanced collaboration within the Teams component has really stepped up from what was regarded as the basic integration. And so with that, I'm going to actually take a step back here, and I'm going to pull up the application here. So right within the application, you can see we have a button for collaboration. So this is right within the ribbon. When you have engaged the enhanced collaboration, this button will become visible. Once you click that button, it will then trigger to collaborate with Teams. So we'll begin by clicking the Get Started button. And what it'll do is it'll begin to look for a team. So there are already 2 teams that have been established. If there is not a team there that you would like to associate to, you can simply create a new team here. So what we'll do is we'll create a new one. We'll call this one Northwind Traders Audio Format. Hit next, and then we can create a new channel as well. So we'll call this a audio format opportunity. Hit next. Then it'll ask if there are, specific members that we would like to associate. Make her a member as well. We'll hit finish. And it will now connect and create everything that we had laid out through the wizard there. Oh, that'll pop up there. So there's the connection. Start the collaboration. We'll launch it with the web app here. And you can see now that that channel has been created related to, well, and you can see that that team has been created, and then the channel related to the audio format opportunity has been created as well. So now you can see that we are inside of Teams, but we're having access directly to the opportunity record. I can then begin to pull in other entities related to this opportunity or this account. So if I wanted, for example, to pull in any entity related to that, we could then come in here and begin to pull those accordingly. We could then select, say, an account, a case, contact, contract, entitlement. So you can see the number of entities that we're able to then relate directly to the teams to, again, increase the collaboration and make the updating of data a more seamless and easy barrier for people to get through, especially with the utilization of Teams and as popular as it's become. Having that, being pinned directly to the record inside of Teams really makes it a lot easier for the updating of data between the 2 applications. So I'm going to go back to my presentation here. And so again, you can see here are all of the entities that it interacts with. And the Hans collaboration, as we saw, again, will be posted within the ribbon once you have enabled that enhancement. The team collaboration component to it, really, again, it's going to drive the connection with the users to those records to ensure that the information is always staying up to date and current inside of D365. So from a reporting perspective, we can have as clean and accurate data as possible. There are a couple approaches that can be taken to that. From this perspective, in a team collaboration, a sales team creates a Microsoft Teams to collaborate on an account, for example, and from there, we would then have that account be posted within that channel related to the overarching accounts. Another approach that can be taken is looking at it from an account collaboration perspective. So now the overarching component to it is going to be the records that are associated to it. So an opportunity or a case, those types of records where you're really trying to drive to an end result versus just updating and having information available to you from an account perspective. The other portion of that could be for a larger or more complex opportunities. You may just create a direct team and then have the channel be represented by either the project or the opportunity, which will enable you to have that broad cross-departmental or even with an external partner collaboration in relation to these records inside of Dynamics 365. Another real key component to it is the file collaboration. So if you were to the back end of the file component within Teams and D365 is SharePoint. So if I were to upload a document here and then associate it to the Teams channel here, it is going to then appear within that that Teams channel inside of Teams. So whether I'm in D365 or I'm in Microsoft Teams or I'm in SharePoint for that matter, we're going to be able to seamlessly see all of the files that have been associated real seamlessly. The next component that I'd like to discuss is the D365 export to an Azure data lake. This new component to it is being referred to as the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So it's a set of capabilities that's really dedicated to big data analytics, and it's built on top of the Azure Blob Storage. And that's really the result of converging the capabilities of the Azure Blob Storage and the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 1. So when we export to a data lake service, what it does is it enables the continuous replication of the common data service entity data to the Azure Lake Storage, which can then be used to run analytics such as Power BI reporting, machine learning, data warehousing, or other downstream integration purposes. So what you would want to do is you select the entities that you want to export to the data lake, and then obviously you're going to click save, and only the entities with change tracking capabilities can be exported. So you want to make sure that you've enabled that component within that entity. And then the common data storage environment is linked to the Azure Data Lake storage account. And the file system in the Azure Data Lake storage is created with a folder for each entity selected to be replicated to the lake.
Yeah, Chad, I'm really excited about this part of the solution, especially for marketing and customer insights when it comes to big data that companies have to manage.
Absolutely, and to have this so seamlessly available right inside of what is now the Power Editor As you can see right here, it says, export to a data lake. And so one of the components that's still in preview mode, though, is the Discover Hub. And this is where you'll be able to seamlessly connect to, a Power BI, Customer Insights, Sales Insights, Azure Data Factory, or the Azure Synapse right here. So what it does, though, is once you get this integration established, is the Common Data Service automatically is pushing information to the data lake without any additional action. So it's not going to require a manual push on a on a scheduled basis by any means. It's going to seamlessly push that data over to that lake. So the next thing that I want to discuss are kind of some of the three things that I found or think will be real useful things with the upcoming release in October, or Wave 2. The first one is using natural language to create targeted segments. We talked previously here about the D365 segments. And so what it will do is we'll able to use simple words to specify the attributes and logics for segments that you want to target, so you can reach the exact audience you're looking for. So for example, using natural language, you can create a segment of customers who live in the US but not in Florida and work in retail. So it really takes into account how people really speak in relation to logic. So it really enables you to create a complex yet simple query. And I think that this component is really going to be something that people will really enjoy because of its simplicity from a user experience. It's finally kind of working in relation to how people talk and work. The next thing is going to be the simplified duplicate detection. Simplified in the sense that it's from a user experience perspective. So it's a much easier way of keeping the data clean, which is obviously going to be a constant struggle, and one of the most important components to any CRM system is your data quality. And the duplicate detection component to it really enables the ability to improve not only the detection, but merging the experiences with a a configurable administrative flag here. As you can see here, this enables us to now really merge these records together, but more so really determine what are the data points that we want to merge between these two records. As this was currently not available, it was really kind of an all or nothing effort between the records. So to now have the ability to select the fields between the common records, I think will be tremendously useful. And the next component to it is really the Teams integration from a webinar perspective. So obviously, as these online meetings and conferences become more and more common, given the current conditions of the world, Teams is going to be offering the ability to have live events using Microsoft Teams, and along with that, the ability to set up webinars either as a team event, a live event, or just from a team meeting perspective. So this will also allow the ability for event check-ins for the live events and meetings, and really be able to bring visibility to the online audiences, and then be able to track the attendance and check-ins inside of D365 marketing. So this is, I think, something that's going to be extremely useful and definitely something that I'm very much looking forward to in the Wave 2 update.
Great, that's been awesome. Thank you so much, Chad, for your review of the great things that are coming for the D365 marketing solution and integrated solutions as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, so when we talk about how we tie it all together, you know, cybersecurity is one topic that is mostly missed throughout organizations today. One of the current statistics from the Government of Canada has provided statistics that only 12% of all companies really understand cybersecurity and compliance aspects of their company and in the industries that they play in. At K-Micro, we offer a large gamut of different solutions and services that we can provide to all companies at the application level, all the way down to the asset level, as well as privacy protection. Also, the benefit of SIEM and Azure Sentinel, which is really a monitoring and reporting solution that allows you to review threats and illegal breaches and actually review even system down issues as well. Next slide. So again, with Azure Sentinel, there is that visibility and monitoring of threats that are at the application and allows the system to do monitoring for the behavior and what users are doing within the applications. And in summary, it is a network trafficking monitoring technology solution that is leveraged by many organizations today. Azure also offers application and role access reviews. So even in the D365 marketing solution that you saw today, there are organizations that are reviewing their roles and access of users in these solutions to deny or approve the access that is required to run the solutions effectively. There is also something called conditional access policies. And what this does is that it creates access control and some examples of access control during business hours or based on geography. You can also centralize these control accesses as well. One example that we provide is a payroll manager wanting to gain access to a payroll application and is required to perform multi-factor authentication to access that solution. In terms of Dynamics 365 customer engagement, with the marketing module underneath that group of applications, we can also do real-time monitoring and control over Dynamics 365. We can monitor the user sessions for compliance, see if there is any risk to the users that are being monitored, and also leverage their sign-ins and sign-outs of the applications and the actions that they're taking within the sessions. A list of the Azure services that are up on the screen. I won't read out the list, but just highlight that when you use Dynamics 365 applications, you actually get the disaster recovery as part of the Azure solution. And also at K-Micro, we offer all of these different services as well, including managed services that we monitor and do alerting 24/7. Some complimentary workshops and assessments that K-Micro offers is Cloud Strategy Roadmaps, Azure, Cloud Storage, so that when you have files that are on-premise and you would like to move them to SharePoint Online, we do those assessments to enable and ensure that we can review all of the files that need to be moved and offer the project estimation with your current use of files today. We also offer commerce strategies, compliance and cybersecurity risk assessments, VR and mixed reality assessments, BI and reporting with Power BI, App Builder for Power Apps, integration reviews and assessments through Power Automate, business process reviews and assessments, AI and the use of Power Virtual Agents, industry solutioning, where we can take an industry and truly see what applications and solutions, and even at the cybersecurity level, of all of the things that a company should be using when they are in specific industries. We can do proof of concepts for companies to review trials of the software and go through their deep requirements and to enable them to make a smarter decision of if the modules are good for their organization or if they need to be extended in any way prior to a project commencing. We also offer document capture and AP automation assessments, and also virtual augmentation that is leveraged by a lot of startups and companies that want to decrease their user counts today and do augmentation services through a highly skilled partner like K-Micro. I'd like to thank you all for joining today. If you have any additional questions or would like to see a future topic, please email us at sales@kmicro.com. Our web address is www.kmicro.com. And for the Microsoft resellers and the sellers that are out in the field, we have set up a special page to share your contact information with us. And you can leverage all of the exciting videos and recordings and sessions and future sessions that we have from K-Micro at kmicro.com/AGM 2020. Thank you so much and have a great day.